Hello and welcome to PaxAriaGaming. This is Reg with episode 19 of Crimson Desert. In the previous episode, we completed chapter 11, Truth and Reality. Nice chapter, very interesting chapter. We also did a little bit of research. We fought the Machina Knight, but the bulk of the episode had to do with completing Truth and Reality. We also found Delicia Castle. Completed the crossroads where we had to read a lot of memories. We went to search for our transporter, for the transporter, for Marnie's transporter, to find the fortress keys that took us through the rest of the chapter. In this episode, we're going to do a little bit of running around. We will not start chapter 12, which is the final chapter of the game. There is a prologue at the end, which comes after the chapter. But we're not going to do that just yet. So we're going to, before we get to chapter 12, show you some exploration stuff. We're going to start with taking a look at Kliff's homestead. All right. I'm wondering if we should make it daytime, so you can actually see a little bit better. I did not change the design of the house. There are only two designs, unless you can buy another one in the game somehow. There's this one, and then there's one with a slightly different roof. Actually, the other one looks a little bit better. And I don't know if I change it now, whether that means I have to go through and sort of redo all of the stuff I've already done inside. So let's make it morning so we can sort of see. And before this episode is over, we will be getting a transporter fast travel point directly to this little homestead. So this is my closet, and lots of stuff in here. I never really am sure whether or not I should save this stuff or sell it. I haven't used the tracking outfits at all. It makes it easier for you to track. I guess if I go on a hunting quest, maybe I'll use it. So anyway, I have that little closet for my clothing. This one is for the gatherables, so you don't have to keep them in your main inventory. And when you refine your weapons and stuff like that, your weapons, your gear, any of that, it draws directly from this chest. So you don't have to come back, get it before you refine. You can just refine, it'll pull from there. So it just gives you more space in your in the inventory that you carry around with you, that you don't have to carry that stuff with you. The other thing is, for certain quests, for some quests, you get some of those items that are sent to your personal chest that you take out, and then you do that. This is the Cuckoo Cooler, which I think is cool. Kliff has his own fridge. I don't know where I'm getting all of this food from. I haven't done a lot of cooking, and I guess maybe some of the rewards for fighting and clearing some of the camps, maybe food is one of the rewards, because I cannot figure out how I keep getting that. Unless it's a dispatch mission, a reward for a dispatch mission, I'm not sure. This is my little work desk. What else we have? We have some books on the floor. I guess I should buy a bookshelf. We have lots of Marnie pictures on the wall. I think I showed you that before. This is the pond. It is deep as hell. I actually came over here when they were building it, and they were digging pretty deep for this pond. It doesn't have any fish in it, as you can see. I feel bad about that, but I've been fishing only when I was forced to, and I know there's another quest with Unka that I'm supposed to do. I'll get to it. Probably post-game. I don't think I'll do it in-game. Okay, that's enough of that. So we have an item that we can use to craft a summons for a legendary mount. I've been holding on to this for a while because I did this some time ago. I think I have actually two, but we're going to do the Alpine.
Which of us is oldest?
The Alpine
I cannot
Ibex.
recall.
So when you defeat the enemy in that area, you get the horn, and you have to bring it here to craft a sigil. You only need,
I have been waiting.
you only need
May
to use it
wisdom
once.
guide your paths.
Once you use it one time, you'll always be able to summon the Ibex, the Alpine Ibex. I think I have one for a wolf as well. And he will be in your special bounce category. There he is. Where is he? There he is. Some of the special mounts come with a saddle, and some don't. I'm not quite sure why that is. This one does not come with a saddle. And I'm not really sure whether he has any real special abilities. So now that we've done that, we're going to go to Erdova to check on some research. I think we should have some completed research. You know, I've been wandering around and forgot to check on them. But I need to do that. There are 6 research institutes in the game. Scalastone, which we've completed. Pororan, which we've completed. There's Erdova, this one. There is Gorthok, Dewhaven, and Delicia Castle. So, Pororan and Scalastone are the 2 that are completed. This one should be pretty close to done. I've been working on this one for a while. The newest one is Delicia Castle. Because you don't really unlock that until you get to chapter 12. Until you get through chapter 11. I don't know whether you can unlock it before chapter 11. And again, I'm not sure I'm utilizing everything that I've sort of gotten from the research, with the exception of being able to extend your health, your spirit, and your stamina. It's an unlock that happens with one of the research quests. I don't remember which one. The Pororan one is probably for spirit or health. Maybe for health, because I think maybe spirit, because you need ginseng for one.
Neither do we.
And you need red algae for another, which you can get along one of the coasts. Actually, it's part of a quest too, but you don't know that you're going to need it to upgrade, so you don't go picking up as much of it as you should. Okay, so it looks like we have 2 left to do here. So we'll do this one. It's only 8 hours.
Progress
It's
never
very
stops.
expensive.
If you're ever in need of a new experiment, come see me.
Now let's go to the Tankworks research place. See where we are with that one. And get that one started.
Good day.
Yeah, put a mark on the map where each of these guys is located.
Progress never stops, and neither do we.
Okay, so this one's done. We have a couple more to do. 2 more to do in this one. So we'll do brimstone research. And then we have 1 more to do.
Progress never. Our research will one day shine for
Okay.
all to see.
So we will go to, what's next? Dewhaven. And get that one started. Sometimes by the time we get them all started, one of the other ones is halted. None of these, at least so far, none of these have been particularly long. I think Scholastone had a long one. I think Pororan had a long one as well. But I think these have all been relatively short. At least they seem like they're relatively short. The other thing is you have plenty to do in the meanwhile. So you're never going to be waiting around for them to complete because you have so many other things that you need to be doing, or that you could be doing. I want to thank you all for continuing to hang in there with this particular journey. I don't know how many people will actually finish this game. I know there's people who complain that there's all this stuff to do, but there are other people, I think a smaller number, a smaller fraction, who are actually enjoying every aspect of the game. I mean, there's certainly some things I want to do that I want to show you guys, and then the rest I'll do on my own. So we will do the final chapter in the next couple of episodes. Maybe not the next episode. The next episode, I want to show you guys me rescuing a god. In order to do that, you have to defeat 3 ancient ones. I think I already defeated 1, and I might have found them by accident. They're very, very difficult bosses. One of them I've fought and died within like 10 seconds every time I faced him. So I'm not going back to try to fight him again yet. You know, I gotta be honest with you. I'm not sure why I still collect these. Because I haven't, it's been a while since I've done any of the things to actually unlock them. And I think part of that is I haven't really focused on those.
Well, well. Look what the cat puked up.
Wow, dude, really? So I guess one of the things I can do is to not record and just spend, you know, a session or two, a day or two, unlocking as many of those as I can. I definitely am pretty sure I will not be able to unlock them all. Some of them are, I think, maybe actually meant for Unka and Damien because of what the challenge is.
Well now, don't you?
How fragrant. Really? Kliff, do you need a bath? It's funny. Or maybe it's the dog. Okay, so looks like there's 7 pieces of research. Once you locate the guy, just put a mark on the map. That would be my recommendation. I mean, Skelastone was pretty easy. That wasn't so difficult. Once I figured out the guy wasn't in the big building, he was off to the side in a smaller building. His was easy. Fororn was a little bit tricky because the map tells you one place, but it's actually off to a research building, sort of off the main
The
campus.
material isn't right. Nothing's gonna work properly.
Okay, so for the research, you have
To
to.
craft proper mining tools, ordinary metal won't cut it. True strength
I don't know
of a
when they
tool
put this
comes from
music
the
in here.
hardest minerals. But I can't just
All of a
wander
sudden,
off
they
looking
start
for
with
them.
this
They're
singing
quite
stuff.
hard to find around
Hopefully,
here.
it won't be a problem for YouTube.
If you find something that looks truly solid, could you bring it to me? With it,
Okay.
my blueprints
And I have
could
to-
finally come to life.
Remember to go into settings and sort of turn that way down because she's like singing her heart out while I'm trying to listen to this guy. Okay, so we want to put a. Well, we see where we have to go, but before we go there, we should put a marker down. Don't. Oh shoot. Oh well. Next time. So if I hadn't been taking all of my gatherables back and putting them in that little chest, I would have had copper on me. But once you go find copper, he's going to send you all the way over here to get it. Maybe this is the nearest copper to this location, I'm not sure. But is it copper? No, it's diamond, not copper. It's a diamond. So it's the same thing. I have diamond in my little gatherables box. But I had no way of knowing in advance what he would ask for, so I didn't think to bring it with me. There's a diamond mine that we found earlier in the game, and we did a lot of mining. You know, oddly enough, it's not really worth as much as you think. So you think that, you know, here, I guess the big thing is gold. Actually, let me correct that. It's gold bars. That is your highest level currency. So you can find crude gold bars, and they're not worth nearly as much as regular gold bars. You can find gold ore, same thing. Now, once you unlock the ability to smelt, I think it's 100 gold ore equals 1 gold bar. So if you do that, and you do find plenty of gold ore, once you're able to do the gold vein research, I believe you'll just go back to the same place and the gold just keeps respawning. I think that's how it works. But we'll find out. But I haven't, since sort of earlier in the game, or at least up till the maybe 40% of the way through the game, or at least through the main quest, I was struggling with money, but not anymore. I mean, the dispatch quests have the camp doing quite well, so I'm not worried about the camp. My own individual money, I haven't really had a reason to do it. It doesn't cost you anything to refine, right? It's not costing you money to do that. I don't need to buy food anymore because it just shows up in my inventory. And there was a quest where I killed some wolves, and that gives me meat as well. You know, so I haven't really needed to do that, to spend money on stuff like that. Early in the game, I did. I guess I wasn't going to go wolf hunting. I did not go wolf hunting, by the way. It was a quest that involved a wolf. And he had a whole bunch of wolf minions that were attacking me. Same thing with the hyenas. So I guess that gives you tough meat, I think is what you get from them. The game is indiscriminate. Meat is meat. I don't think I'd ever eat hyena meat. Well, I don't eat meat, so I guess that wouldn't work anyway. But if I did eat meat, I don't think hyena meat would be one of the ones I would go for, since they're basically scavengers. Now this place, Dewhaven and Felicia Castle, I think has a lot to explore.
I was warned about folks like you.
Dude, I've been here before. What the heck? So so there are lots of the little question marks, which means they're vendors and stuff like that. And I think at some point off camera, I will sort of go there and unlock all of that stuff. I will max out my weapons. I want to do that before the final chapter. And you can only do that, by the way, by getting a particular type of scale.
Oh, this mineral is more dense than I imagined. Any rock in this world will crumble under my tool. Thank you. Drop by any time if you need something.
New discoveries await us today.
Okay, lightning spear blueprint.
What kind of study? Our research will one day shine for all to see.
No, I think that's one of those ones where you would craft that at the Kilnden. I think it's a cuckoo thing that you need to do. There's a lot that I haven't done. Okay, now let's go find out why the research was halted at the Brimstone place. This is what I mean. We're sort of 20 minutes in, and game time works differently than real time, but it's very... Okay. Okay, so 2 researchers have halted. They don't all halt, but a fair number of them do. So you go back, and usually there's one more step or something else that you need to do in order to get the research going again. I don't know how that affects the timing.
We can't let the research stop like this.
No worries.
I'm sorry, but our research is halted for now. We've run out of usable brimstone.
Okay, now
Could you help us?
we have passed brimstone
Tell you
before.
where brimstone can be found and how to extract it. With that, we can resume our research.
The question is there a fast travel point that I unlocked in that area? Gathering brimstone. Ignore all of that. All you need to do is kill. All you need to do is kill one of the creatures. I'll show you. I think I spent 20 minutes trying to do what this is telling me to do, only to discover that I didn't need to do any of that stuff. Not quite sure why the game does that. Where are my fast travel points? All right, I'm not sure. Let's do this. None of them showed up on the map. Let's do this again. There we go. Okay. All right, so we're going to go here, and we'll just take a jaunt over. Again, one of the benefits to unlocking every Abyss Crescent and every fast travel point that you can find. And I know I have a lot of work to do out in Eastern Delicia, Eastern Crimson Desert. Those areas I have not explored as much. So this is the Brimstone area. We've been here because we had to unlock that crescent. And those little plumes of brimstone, which I guess is sulfur. The idea is you're supposed to use your healing force palm to seal those. And then go to the one that's left unsealed. Use your nature snare, turn it into a crystal of some type, but none of that was working. But I spent forever doing this. So then this little guy decided he wanted to attack me for some reason. And I discovered that all I ended up having to do was to kill him and I'll get the brimstone. Yeah, I'm not going to kill him with a pickaxe though. And there you have it. So you get your brimstone. Make sure you get more than one brimstone. So maybe there's two ways to get brimstone and the game didn't really tell you how to, the second way of getting it, or maybe they changed it with one of the patches and didn't change the description as to how to get the brimstone. I'm not sure which. But I tried the way the game was explaining to do it, and each time that failed. Over and over again, for like 20 minutes. Let's go back here, give this guy a brimstone so we can get the research going again. I think that's the only tedious thing about the research when you're doing it like I'm doing, which is 3 or 4 of them at a time. I mean, you can just spend your time running back and forth between each of the researchers, because again, in-game time is different from real time. So the ones that are like 2 hours, 6 hours, stuff like that, chances are you can do that in like 1 hour of lifetime.
The next phase without more brimstone.
All right, here's your brimstone.
That smell. You've brought brimstone.
Yep, here you go.
Please, allow me to examine it. This is perfect. Thanks to you, we can continue our work. We are so grateful. We are so grateful.
Okay. So, I think for now, that's the research we're going to do. We're going to do a couple of bosses, because you can't have a Crimson Desert episode without a few bosses. So one of the ones, so we is this the right place? Let me just make sure. Hold on a moment. There was a boss we struggled with. There are actually 2 different types of this boss. They're crab bosses. We fought one in another area, which I did not capture on screen. And then led me to believe that I should come back and try this one, because I think I finally figured out how to get the stab or pierce thing that wasn't really working with this boss. Again, the game instruction tells you to do one thing, and the mechanic that you've used all game long for stabbing doesn't really work, because what the game really wants you to do is to pierce, not stab. And you have to pay very close attention to what you're doing to see when the pierce prompt pops up. And again, this crab is jumping around and popping you in the air and all kinds of stuff, so it's a little frustrating. It's a very frustrating fight, and he's covered in bismuth, or she's covered in bismuth. It's a queen, which interestingly wasn't doing nearly as much damage as bismuth does when you're sort of seeing it in the world. I think initially I was very worried about that the bismuth would kill me before the crab did. Anyway, you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's get over there. Oh no, sorry. Before we do that, let's find out how or what is going on with our gold vein research. I'm sorry, there's one more research that we need to look at, and then I promise we'll get to the crab queen. This is the gold vein research, where once it's completed, if you keep coming back, you'll be able to basically get unlimited gold ore. So the Crimson Desert actually has a fair number of interesting little surprises and some pretty decent loot. Not easy to find, but definitely worth exploring. Not as densely populated with enemies as some of the other areas. Okay. Alright guys, I'm gonna stick my Watcher on you guys. The interesting thing about the Watchers is that when you kill an animal and you're trying to skin it, the Watchers will shoot at you, or shoot at the animal. I'm not quite sure why it does that. The animal's dead. I'm just trying to skin it, but the Watchers thinks it's helping me or something. This is one of those things that you sort of pick up along the way. I mean, you're going about your business, and then all of a sudden you get attacked by some people who are just out to do no good, so you end up taking them out. Sometimes you find a little camp along the way that you don't see on the map before, and then as you're going to your destination, it sort of pops up on the map. I think there are items that open up parts of the map. I think I found 2 of them. I found one for Northern Hernan, and I think I found one other one. But I'm assuming that there must be one for every area of the game. Ouch. So you couple that with ringing the bells. Ringing the bells in the towers in various towns. Like in Hernan, we did one. In Halun, we did one. In Calfade, we did one. We didn't do one in Delicia. And I don't remember whether we did one in Demonis. So my list of things to do is getting longer by the second in terms of what it is I need to do. Again, I don't, at this point, clearly it doesn't affect the end game, because I've progressed, as far as I have in completing chapter 11, and, hasn't really halted me. And I'm guessing it won't at this point, because, at the end of a chapter, the game sort of jets you right into the next chapter. So, I made the choice not to deal with that quest marker at that point, because I know that in between chapters I like doing some things, showing you guys some other stuff that's going on. But I will get back to the main one, finish it up, and then we'll work towards getting the true ending. So that'll be a priority. I'll continue to do other things, but the priority will be to do whatever I need to do to get the true ending. So I need to sort of make sure I understand what that is.
Stopped again. Fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks.
By the sands, that gleam, it's gold! Let me take just a sliver. I can resume my research with this. I'll be sure to let the research director know right away. Your aid means the world to me. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So. We should be done with research for a little while. There'll be one more that we end up going back to do before we're done.
Keep well.
So we're just coming back because this one is completed.
Progress never stops, and neither do we.
Okay, and we're down to the last research for Stonefeld. You have unlimited cannon. Again, we don't use cannon. Wait, what is this? Not enough knowledge. Okay. We need to observe something. I should stop planning stuff because this is always going to send me for a nice little loop. So I need to go observe something and then go back to this guy. So all I have to do is take a look at this. Now I can go back.
The future of the furnace lies in there.
So actually we need to talk to the researcher out here. Share it with him. He's over here next to this guy over here. And then we don't have to go back to the other guy. Oh yeah, we do, because we have to start the next research.
To melt ore. It is a precise laboratory for extracting the purest metal. Each mineral demands different heat and pressure to purge its flaws. Through repeated trials, we discover the optimal conditions and record them. That effort is what produces the finest metals.
Okay. We heard him. Now we can do the final bit of research for this area.
Research for a better tomorrow never ends. The research we conduct. I shall write down our discussion before I forget.
So there are a couple. Okay, this is the one we're going to do, the crab one now. There are a couple of research, like for instance in Scalastone, there is, at least according to the menu, there is another piece of research, but it wasn't available to us. I don't think it's available until you get to chapter 12. There's another witch quest, which I also think is not available until you get beyond chapter 11. So there are a couple of those, but that doesn't seem to be the case with all of the research. I can't remember whether that's the case with Pororan, but it's definitely the case with Scalastone. So for some reason, we'll end up having to go back to the Scalastone Institute. Okay, so the Queen Bismuth crab. I swear to God, I fought this thing maybe 25 times.
A stoneback crab.
It's taken me, yeah, Kliff, it's a stoneback crab. You fought him or her a gazillion times. So you can see the weak points. It's misleading because the weak points are all on the upper shell. So I'll have to do a little bit of creative editing because this took me a long time, but I wasn't going to give up. This was like, okay, this is holding up a couple of quests, so I really need to do this. So you'll be able to see there you go. So there are two. There's a third one of these as well. So there are three of these white patches that you need to pierce. Once you pierce those two, you'll have to attack the thing on the top, at the very top, and then you'll be able to pierce that as well. The horrible part about this is the controller input is just really odd. So it's not stab, it's pierce that you need to do. So you're led to believe that you have to stab it, but it's not true. You have to pierce it, which is a very different mechanic. So yes, I've edited out all of my attempts. That shooting is my watchers shooting at the thing, building up its poise break. There we go. The other crab I fought was easier because the prompt for pierce came up more frequently than with this one. This one just seemed really janky in terms of trying to figure out where you're supposed to once you figured out that you need to pierce and not stab, where you need to do that, or where you need to position yourself in order to do that. Very frustrating. So you have to knock that off to unveil the third one. Actually, no, you can knock that off to defeat him, to defeat her. Okay, so we're done.
Brought the goods right into my lap. Seems like you've plenty of valuable goods. Luck's on my side.
Now, perhaps if I come to this area early, well, when I originally came to this area, these guys would be more difficult. But coming to this area at this point, which for me, I guess is late game since, you know, right before the final chapter, made it a lot easier to defeat these guys. Okay, Casey, do your job. Snag everything you can find. Okay, so you're not done until you do this part of that quest. It took me a while to figure this out because initially I came over here, I cleaned off the solar panels, and nothing happened. And I read the memory and still nothing happened. And so the issue is you can't really do this part until you destroy the Bismuth Queen, the crab. Once you do that and then you clear the solar panels, then you're done. Yeah, I read this memory already. So if you guys are wondering, well, why isn't it popping up? It's because I read this probably 3 or 4 weeks ago when I first came to this area. So we need the broom, and you know how to use the broom. You just aim, sweep a couple of times. after a couple of these, you'll hear that little ting when it's clean. And then there are no tricks. Once this is done, it's really done. But for me, it wasn't clear what order I should do this in because I discovered this before I discovered the crab. So I came over, read the memory, and basically it said, okay, clean the solar panels. I did that, and nothing happened. And the dirt reappeared on the solar panels. So it's like, okay, well, I don't understand what's going on, but what's going on was there's a sequence to it. These are linked quests. And in this particular instance, I needed to kill the Bismuth Queen first. I guess she was poisoning the well, that well that's in the middle down there. But again, it's not, to me at least, maybe to other people it was clear. It wasn't clear to me what to do. Initially it was clear the area around the well. I did. There weren't a lot of enemies around the well, so I was like, okay, I'm done. What's going on? I didn't walk towards where the queen was, which is why she didn't pop out of the ground. But then once I discovered her, couldn't figure out how to beat her, it was a bit of a problem. So once we do all of that, we return to the chief. This chief gave us this little quest eons ago now. We had to clear this area first. This area was blockaded and full of enemies when we first arrived. I don't know that I recorded that, actually. It was probably one of those things I was doing on my own. But the chief is at the top of one of these structures. So you have to climb all the way up. And if you're wondering, why don't you just call your dragon? Part of the reason why you can't is you can't call your dragon inside of one of these little camps or communities. And the other time I tried to call him out in the wilderness, it said he was still in a cooldown period, which is odd because I hadn't used him, so I wasn't sure why he needed to cool down. It's a little bit odd. But you are required to use him in the final chapter, that I know. So it's not like he's going to be useless to us. What I wanted to do was to sort of get him and then clear a camp using him by just bombarding them with fire. That was my goal. But then when it said that he needed to cool down, I was like, all right, well, you know what? I got other stuff to do. But I will get back to trying that. Oops. That was a waste of a climb. Why is the chief all the way up here? Buddy, you're the chief. Does that mean you have to be on the highest tower, or can you just... Anyway, let's go talk to the chief. Let him know that we've cleared the well, so they now have clean drinking water. Buddy, you know how difficult it was to get up here?
Ah, fresh, clean water is flowing once again. The area seems purified of bandits as well.
You're welcome.
Now the people of this village can live in peace. Everyone here will remember you for a long, long time.
No worries.
You need something?
Okay, so we talked to the chief. Where to next? So that was a crab boss.
You're new around here, right?
You know the question marks drive me crazy. Why are you covering your eyes when I shine a lantern on you? You're standing out in the middle of the sun. Okay, So we're gonna deal with the dust songs. I was trying to find the question mark thing, but I think the question mark is tied to a challenge. So I did climb up to the item and it won't let me interact with it. So whatever that challenge is, we'll come back and do it. Right now, we are going to head to this next area to take on the Sandwatcher boss, who is in that fortress over there. So this is basically one of those areas to clear, like multiple structures and so on and so forth. And the percentage thing. These are easy because if you just use a focus shot, you can destroy that whole structure. We're going to pull out the Watcher just in case we need it for these guys. Great about the Watcher, and I know I've been talking about this Watcher thing for a while. They are invulnerable. They have unlimited life. They can't be shot down. They don't run out of energy. It doesn't use your stamina. I mean, this is like amazing. And it works incredibly well on bosses. I think in the last episode I showed that it just builds up their poise break or critical hit. Critical hit buildup so fast. It's just unbelievable. On these smaller enemies, you don't really need them for that. I don't even know whether these Watchers are good at crowd control. It can kill an enemy. I didn't realize that earlier, but if you watch closely in some instances, it can actually kill an enemy. Usually I just thought, they would just, stun them with their shots, but they can actually take an enemy out. Weapon here, let's switch. Like the disruptor wouldn't work on these particular kinds of enemies. I'm not sure about the sonic resonator and even why that would work on an enemy like this. So this is also an example where if you wanted to use the Cuckoo Spear, electric based, or even one of those weapons we pick up in the game, was it the Fire Splitter and the Light Splitter? There are a couple of those that have a durability attached. So after 10 uses, the weapon breaks, and they're disposable basically. I have those in my inventory. I've not used them. So we're going to take the chest and we're going to destroy the structure because this is one of the... I don't know whether this is the infirmary or the barracks, but we're going to destroy it. The boss is inside the fortress, but if you get too close, she'll come out and bother you and then disappear again. There are a couple of them like that in the Crimson Desert. Actually, there are a couple of them like that in the whole across the game, where you go and you fight, and as you get closer to the area, they pop out and they bother you, which is annoying. It sort of forces you to use your resources when you're just trying to clear the area around. And then at some point they stop coming out, and you can go in, and you'll see them sitting inside somewhere. There will be 2 of them like that. Okay, so we destroyed this one. Okay, I guess that was the barracks. So we have the infirmary and the training grounds left. We knock that down. Knock that down. But when I discovered you could do that early on, it's so much fun. Okay, so here's this. This is what I mean. She is so annoying. So you don't expect her to come out there, and then all of a sudden she pops out of nowhere.
None leave my sight alive.
And you don't seem to be able to damage her when she's outside of the fort.
Run, hide. It makes no difference. Dusk will be your dying light.
Well, I guess, no, it looks like you're doing a little bit of damage, but very little, actually. I mean, just a little tick, and it's doing no critical damage to her at all.
The wind and sand can blind me. Fade into the dusk.
Okay, so now she's going to disappear back into her fortress. I'm going to take out a few more of her minions. But the goal is to get inside the fortress. I mean, once you get inside, then she won't keep popping up. She'll be inside, and I think in her case, unlike some of the other bosses, she will continue to bother you once you're inside, versus the other ones where you won't find them until you get to the very end part of it. You can go through and clear the whole place, and you'll find the boss sitting on a throne somewhere. That's not true for her. She's pretty beefy. I mean, I'm hitting her as hard as I can with everything I got, and it's just not doing a lot of damage. So this is one of those ones where I think you have to be patient and careful. I'm going to continue to keep my watchers, keep them with me. Okay, getting the cutscene, so here she is.
Another corpse. To lay out on the sand.
All right, lady, let's do this.
There's nowhere you can hide.
Okay, now we're building up. We're building up for some critical attacks. When she was outside, that never happened. No matter what I was doing, it just wasn't building up. The difficulty here is that she will drop. Ouch. She'll drop these bombs on me, and you can't. At least I can't. I haven't figured out how to nature snare the bombs that come from above. Where the hell is she? He moves around. He moves around a lot. Okay, that was one of the little bombs. Do I want to do this again, or do I want to? No. Yeah, let's do this. I think I have her at halfway. I don't want to start this fight again. No, I don't have her at halfway. Alright. So if she keeps killing me, I'll start the fight over, but I don't really feel like starting this over. See, when she goes up like that, like she's okay, so she just fired something into the air. Those she's shooting directly at me, and I can sort of send them back at her. Yeah, I got a little greedy. I should have healed, and instead of just going ham on her when my health was that low. She's got these explosions. I don't know whether, when you're close to her, what that explosion is. Like this one, I can see it. So she's shooting in air. It's like mortar fire. That one I'm familiar with. I didn't have a chance to nature snare it, so just sort of running for my life. She drops down. I have that move right there. Okay, that I saw coming and I didn't move out of the way. But that move when you're close to her, and then she sets off a bomb, that thing I can't figure out. And then of course she disappears. And she's sniped me. Okay. Yeah, I'm using another Palmer pill. Yeah, when she does that teleport thing, you know, unfortunately I have no idea of knowing where she is at that time. But that's okay, she's almost done now. Okay, she's done. It's funny because I always use a Palmer pill when I have the enemy like a sliver away from dying. And she's like the third or fourth enemy we face where we've defeated, and instead of them just dying, they disappear. So again, I don't know whether that means we're going to face her again at some point. Samara, the Sandwatcher. None of the other ones, other than Muirden and Ludwig, have I seen come back again. So the ones that sort of run off like that, I haven't seen come back. So once you do that, you still have to clear the area. And it's annoying, because this area must have like 300 enemies, and there's a lot of them. And, you know, because this area is so vast and there's so many enemies, my inventory is likely packed already. Because Casey picks up everything. I hope Casey's not running around picking up the things that I leave behind. Because sometimes, you know, there'll be 50 of a particular item, and what I do is sort of toss those. I hate doing that because I'd rather sell it or donate it to my camp. But if I'm out in the field, then I really can't do that. I mean, it's sort of like, okay, I have a choice. I can sit around sort of looking to see what has more value. I think anything gold, I figure, has more value. So when you find like those gold pots and stuff like that, I'll take those only because I figure that has more value if I sell it. But again, I think I'm getting to a point where I don't really need to do that. Come on, it's an RPG. You sort of hate leaving loot. Okay, 1.64. Couple more of these guys. There we go. They should run off. Okay, we should get the liberation cutscene. Okay. Yeah, they seem to have fixed the thing with the Watchers. Before, when I was trying to recall them by hitting L2, R2, they wouldn't, and I always have to go to the menu to make them, to recall them. Now I don't have to do that anymore, which is good. So it's working the way it's supposed to work now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to install our transporter. That was one of the research quests was one of the research quests that we did for Scalastone. However, you can also find one on this little farm. Let me show you where it is. This is in Hernand. You're going to find this property, and you're going to find this little hut that has a trap door. And if you come down here, there are some traps in here as well. So you want to... I don't think the traps can kill you. There's going to be a fire trap. I should have sent Casey home. You know, I don't want the dog to get burned up because he's following me around. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. But it does, as you can see, it didn't do a lot of damage. All right, you got to roll to put the fire out. And I walked right into another trap. Okay, that was me not paying attention. There's a rope going across. That's a trap, a booby trap that you need to avoid. Your goal is right there, that bismuth wall that you want to break. Looking around to see if there is any other loot. Doesn't look. Oh yeah, there is. The farmer pills. We're gonna grab these, of course. You know, it's funny. I have not had to craft any palmer pills in the game yet. Yeah, I know there are people who've crafted like 100 of them. I'm not sure why you would ever need that many, but I've not had to craft any. I am playing on normal, by the way. I don't need the game to be extra difficult, but I also don't need it to be easy. So I have not... Earlier in the game, I did get to a point where I'd run out of palmer pills, mainly because early I didn't know what they were for. You know, you get them from an early quest in Hernand where you do some chimney sweeping for someone, and then you find them in the game, but you don't really know how to use them. Okay, so you're going to break this wall. You can grab that item. And then in here, you're going to grab that item, which is basically your transporter. So at this point, if you do this, you should end up with 2 transporters. You know, one that you get from Scalastone, and one that you just found here. So you're going to come back to you're going to go back to Howling Hill, and you're going to take the little bridge back across to your property. And you can't put it anywhere on the property, right? You have to go to a specific location that had an inert or an inactive transporter. So you have to look for it. You'll find it when you see vines that are burnable. Right here. Yeah, so you can't just place it anywhere on the... Now, it's interesting because now that I have 2, I'm just wondering whether or not there'll be a place in Payloon next to wherever Kliff's house will be there where you can activate another transporter. Otherwise, I'm not sure why I would need to. You can't just put them anywhere. Okay, and so you have to store these in your cocoa pot, by the way. You can't just carry them anywhere you want them. And as you can see at the top right, I have 2. I have 1 and a new one I just picked up. So you take it out of your cuckoo pot. Don't let it run into you or hit you. And you're just going to place it over where it's supposed to. And then you can use force current to lock it in place. Or you can jump on it to lock it in place. I discovered that if you use force current, you don't need to jump. And you activate it. And now you have your home base transporter. And you can't take it with you. So once it's locked in place, it's there. So unless you have two, like I said, if there's one that you're going to need in Payloon, then don't use that one here if you don't want to. Or get the second one. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to go back to this research place. This is the Zargon Tank Works research. And we're going to start the last
Watch
node.
yourself out there.
Okay, yeah, buddy. You're going to start the last node of research here. Lots of running around to research in this
Progress
episode.
never stops, and neither do we. What kind of study brings you here today? Next time, I'll share even more interesting results with you.
Okay, so with that done, we are going to fight one of the ancient bosses. This guy will be Praevus the Ancient. And while it's not apparent why I should fight this guy in this episode, it will become apparent in the next episode. Because in the next episode, I will rescue a god. And in order to do that, you have to defeat the three ancients. Praevus is one. We fought another one back when we were doing Master Du's questline. I don't remember the other one's name. And then we have one more that we have to locate and find in order to move towards, as a step in the quest to help this god, this particular god. That god you need to defeat in order to get the item you need to max your weapons at full refinement. It's Assyrian scales. You'll see them, but you can't interact with them until you save the boss's life. Until you save the god's life. Okay, the reason there was a fast travel point here is because, again, I fought this guy as well. You know, when I was exploring, I found him. You're taking damage because the floor is basically fire. And if you leave from that floor, you end up outside of the arena. So that's what happened there. Very, very annoying fight. And as you can see, he killed me in less than 3 seconds. As you can see, if you have a fire-resistant armor, this would be a good place for it. But you can defeat him without fire-resistant armor, because this armor set that I have is not fire-resistant. And like his brother, he flies around a lot. So, yeah, you want to stay away from these floating crystals that explode. Yeah, he's an incredibly annoying boss because he's trying to lure you into these areas where you're going to take a lot of damage. At least the lock-on mechanic seems to be working well in this one. He is lighting me up, but that's okay. I got him at half health. Hopefully he doesn't have a secret second phase. My pros are doing a little bit of damage to him, but I need to get some hits on him. Why am I not using my watchers? What the hell? Are they active? No, because I don't see them. That's my mistake. Yeah, if you keep moving, well, your best strategy is to keep moving. He does this dive bomb thing. And I'm not sure. I got good damage on him. Watch out for those. When he does the dive bomb, I'm not sure whether you should roll forward or roll back to get away from that. Just don't get hit by it, whatever you do. It does a lot of damage. The things that killed me earlier, I'm able to avoid now. The dive bomb, that, and the little fireball thingies that he throws. Like those little fireballs. Trying to get to my my watcher pack. I'm probably gonna die trying to do this. There we go. This fight probably would have been over if over if I'd been using my watcher. There we go. Let's build up some. See how fast it builds up. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, I made this fight so much more difficult. What all these guys are going to do is build up a crit. He's going to drop down. I'll get a crit. Right about now. Oh. There we go. Okay, only one phase. These guys are incredibly difficult. Alright, I need to get off of this fiery thing before I end up dying. Alright. Yeah, this is actually part of a faction quest. I'm not quite sure how you unlock it, because I fought the first one of these three not because it was part of this faction. Or maybe I stumbled upon it. I don't know. Like this one I stumbled upon, got beat like 12 times and decided, okay, he's just too strong for me. And then decided that I would come back at a point later. And then when I got to the part where I needed to rescue the boss, I keep saying the boss, rescue this god, I didn't have a choice. I have to defeat him. This keeps telling me I'm not going to apprehend any outlaws in this episode. I think that's an off-screen thing. Sometimes I run into them incidentally, and then I'll take them in. But I always found them, it's annoying. You catch them, if the constabulatory, if the prison is nearby, then it's easy to sort of take them in. But sometimes it's like, you catch these guys and you got to travel for like 45 minutes to get to the location where you can turn them in. That's not fun. I know you need to do that to complete certain quests. And by completing them, they unlock other quests. So it's definitely worth doing it, but there's a degree of tedium that comes with that. I guess the tedium comes with it if you do them all at once, like this, as opposed to doing them as they spread out through the game. Okay, so we are going to clear this little camp. Again, this was not our intention, but along the way we see the camp, we as well clear it. And the smaller camps you can clear in a couple of minutes. I mean, literally a couple of minutes. And again, you get loot. And I'm not arguing that the loot is worth it. I would argue that if you get loot, you can always sell it to make money. So in that regard, yeah, it is worth it. Now, you could be one of those folks that have gotten so many gold bars that you have so much money that you don't really need to do these little camps. Then I would only do it because there's a red spot on the map and I want to get rid of all the red stuff.
Oh, you're carrying quite a haul of trade goods.
Once again, I'm just trying to get to my destination, guys.
Today's the day I strike you rich.
Trade good hunters. I can just sell you guys trade goods. I have plenty of them. When we're done with this, we're going to do one more quest, the Forbearer's Barrens, and then we'll wrap up. And then in the next episode, we will Helmara. This is the new group of people that we need to take care of. So we're gonna do this. Whenever I consider, like, I want to ride on top of a train, and trains never show up. But when I'm doing something in the distance, I see a train driving by. So I'm like, okay, I do want to ride the train. Okay, so we're going to clear this area, and then we will wrap things up, and we will... There's probably, if I had to guess, I would say there's probably 3 more episodes left in terms of main story, and then everything after that would be a bonus episode. And again, I'll only show relevant kinds of things. It won't necessarily show me, you know, hunting down the other gray manes or any of those kinds of things. But I will 100% show you when I get to the point where I get the true ending. And that would require completing all 40 of the Abyss Gates. And I think you have to do quite a few of them in the final chapter. I don't think you'll do all of the ones you have left in the final chapter. I think I've done 15 or so. So I can't imagine that there'll be 25 in the final chapter to do. So there must be some in the game that aren't tied to a particular quest line that I can do. But I won't do that before the end of the game. I think, you know, in deference to my subscribers and viewers, I want to keep things interesting. But I will eventually do them, and I will eventually show you guys the true ending of the game. You know, some things I want to do on my own, like the Baby Wyvern quest. I want to get the white wolf as a mount. you know, there's a list of things I want to do. I also need to begin to explore the next game on my list to play. I definitely will not be getting through 10 games this year. My goal at the start of every year is to do 10 playlists of games. That's not going to happen. I think when I did Black Myth, which took a while as well, although it was my third playthrough, I didn't get 10 games in either. This game has taken a very long time. I don't mind because it's very interesting. It's still fun. And Expedition 33 actually took a while. Code Vein took a little while. It's just every game I've played so far this year have been fairly long games. Yeah, the ice ability. I guess both of them, ice or fire. I love to see the ice one because it just blasts them into ice crystals. The fire one turns them into a puff of ash or something like that. I've used both. I've used the ice one more frequently than the fire one. And the lightning one, the same abyss pathway that I was using for fire and ice. If you continue along that, you get lightning. And then I'm not sure where the last one comes from. But clearly, you can get through the game without any of those, to be honest with you. Mainly because you can simply use weapons that have those kinds of things imbued, or an abyss gear that might imbue them as well. So, like you can use Mirrodin's weapon. You can use who's the other guy? There's another fire-based. Actually, there are a few of them that you can use. So it just depends on what you want to do. For a long while, I only used Spirit. I wasn't really using any of the other ones. You know, the combination of Spirit plus using the Darkbringer was pretty helpful because of Ator's orbs. Now I've added a sort of a frost spike to that. I may change that out. In my single-handed weapon, there's it's the one I got from older version of Kliff. It's really nice, but I don't use one-handed weapons, so I'm wondering whether I should take that gear out of that and put it in this. Or should I put that life steal or life siphon, whatever they call it? Should I put that in? I mean, that kind of stuff, those kinds of things don't work against bosses. They work in these little camps, but as you can see, I'm not really struggling to stay alive in these camps. I have plenty of food, so I don't know whether I need to do that. If I had discovered it earlier in the game, it would have made more sense. Because then I could say, okay, I don't need as much food because I have this lifesteal thing. But at this point, what is that back there? Whatever it is, we're not going to deal with it right now. We're going to wrap things up. Once we get the all clear here. But I'm curious about that. Okay, I don't know whether it's part of this mission. So what we're going to do, what we have to do here, is we have to find, we're going to destroy this place. But in order to do that, we need to locate some bombs that are strategically hidden and then plant those bombs. I don't think these emitter type things do anything, so I'm not going to worry too much about them. So there are 2 bombs. Apparently you can only carry 1 at a time. They're in the same general area, so just remember where you got this one from. There's the other one right there, but you can't pick it up. So you're going to grab this bomb, the one you have, you're going to take it, you're going to plant it, you're going to come back here, grab the other bomb, plant that bomb. You're going to get the heck out of the way once you plant them both, and then watch the place explode, and that will wrap up this quest. And this episode. You just follow the map marker. Once you clear the place, you don't have to worry about anybody. There's no, you're not gonna be attacked doing this. And we're gonna grab this. We're gonna go back to where we were. We're gonna grab. Okay, where the heck was it? It was over here. There we go. Grab that. Take it back to the next map marker. And then we will make sure that we are out of the... I don't think it'll blow up while we're in the area anyway. At least I don't think it will. I think the way it's set is it's sort of... There's no time. There's no countdown. So it leads me to believe that until you clear the area and get the cutscene, it won't explode. But at least that's what I think. We'll find out. Planted over here. Right there. Come on, Kliff. You need another cup of coffee or what? What's going on, buddy? Planted there. Go to a safe location. See, so that leads me to believe that nothing's going to happen until you get to your safe location. You get the cutscene. So we come up here, we take a look-see, and then you get the explosion. There we go. We are done with this quest. And so with that, we are at the end of episode 19 of Crimson Desert. Not sure what I'm going to label this particular episode, since we got a lot of stuff done. It wasn't main quest, it was side quest stuff. I think a couple of important things for me was the legendary mount, the transporter to Kliff's house, and the research.
Who'd even come looking for
So we'll
us?
come back to Howling Hill, go to our little rest point, and with that, we will end it here. Thank you guys for joining me here at PaxAriaGaming. This is Reg saying I appreciate all of your support. If you like this video, hit the like button, and I will see you in the next episode. Uploads every Tuesday and Friday until we complete the game. That's true for every game. It's a Tuesday, Friday upload. And I will see you guys then with episode 20. And we will rescue a god in the next episode. All right, take care. I will see you guys soon. Bye.